The water is flowing warmly and rapidly over your hands, Mason Cassidy, as you scrub them. Start to unbutton your shirt. You're not alone in this room, though. You've been accompanied by a number of invisible attendants that Martina almost always has surrounding her, and of course herself. She's only a couple of sinks over from you. You're in the men's bathroom, and she is washing her hands just like you are. She is coated like right up to her elbow in it. It's all over her. It's all over her, like her shoulders, her chest, mostly her face, and there's bits in her hair which she's only starting to wring out now. She's staring at herself in the mirror, and she is weirdly not really, doesn't seem to care that there's bits of Sabina under her fingernails. Doesn't really seem to care that she's picking parts of her out of her teeth. And it's almost as though someone spilled a drink on her. She's just very casually and calmly. Oh, God. It almost makes you wish that we weren't as addictive as we are, because it would be so much easier to just do it to each other, don't you think? You would have all this mess.
It's certainly messy, yeah.
I know. You missed a spot.
Yeah, Mason would just, having taken off his shirt, just kind of trying to wipe
walks
down
over towards you and looks at the shirt in your arm. She's trailing along the edge of the sinks with her hand and leans on the sink. I'm sorry I snapped at you. You couldn't have known. You were just trying to do what was best for her, weren't you?
I didn't realize I was interrupting something.
That's what I like about you, Mason. You're unwilling completely to worry about yourself in a situation like that. You weren't worried or scared of interrupting me. You were appalled when you saw what I'd done to her. Well, what you'd done to her, strictly speaking, I had everything under control, but you just startled me. But I appreciate how much you care for her. I like it. It's cute. Reminds me of Bart.
She's been a good friend to me.
And now she'll be your good friend for a lot longer. Think of it as a great big weight. And she walks around, so she's behind you and she's looking at your shoulder over the mirror. Great big weight off your chest. And she starts to glide her hands along your rib cage and up towards your pecs. Do you react to that at all? Or are you just letting her?
He kind of tenses up a bit and almost like.
And then she wraps her hands around you, rests her chin on your shoulder. It must be so difficult for you to carry all that on your shoulders all the time, all that worry and concern.
You get used to it.
You need to let it go, or else it's just going to fill you up and make you explode.
I'd like to think I've got a handle on it. I haven't lost it yet.
You absolutely don't. Look at you. You are stiff as a plank of wood right now. And she digs her nails into your chest a little bit. You can feel the strength behind them. Mason, you need release. That's what you need. You need to understand that you cannot control everything in this world that happens to you.
Oh, I know that.
That happens for you.
For me.
And yet you're powerless to stop it. He steps away from you at that point.
Oh, I know.
She holds her hand out, and after a moment, then a wet towel appears, and she starts wiping her face with it. Rolls hands it to.
Mason finishes washing, kind of cleaning up his shirt, and he just kind of turns the tap off and turns around, and I'm very aware that most of this is out of my control. I'm used to it.
Doesn't have to be. It absolutely doesn't have to be, Mason. Sometimes it's deceptively easy how you can just reach out and take something. You can hate and love someone at the same time, you know. Do you hate me?
No. I hate what you did.
You're going to have to be a little more specific than that. I've done a lot.
To Sabina.
To Sabina. You mean meeting her?
Killing her.
Killing her. Like we've established. You did that. If you would have just kept your snooping nose out of it, then maybe I wouldn't have flinched. You know that's true, right? If you'd have just left well enough alone, when you stick your neck out for someone, that doesn't mean that you're the one that takes the bullet. Sometimes they pay for that mistake too. Don't look so shocked. Come on. Come on. And she reaches and playfully pushes you on the shoulder against the wall, the sink, the mirrors. Fight back a little bit.
What will doing that get me?
You what?
What will fighting back get me? Right now.
This whole world's a struggle, Mason. You're getting blown away in the current.
You have to pick your battles. You can't fight them all.
Well, I'm picking a fight with you right now, Mason. She walks up to you, grabs you by the hips, and pushes her body against yours and pushes you back over the sink. I know how badly you want to rip my face off. I know there's a part of you that does. We can all smell it. We can all hear it. You want it, don't you? And she's gripping onto you, and you feel that there's always that, as Sabina has recently learned, there's always that furnace inside of every kindred, which in fact is just another raging personality, another raging, well, need really. It's just a hole that demands to be filled. And that is beginning to seep over you. She's lashing out with the beast against you, trying to pull you in. Are you going to try and resist this, or are you just going to let it happen?
Yeah, I'm going to try and resist. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So she's lashing out, trying to seduce you. You need to decide whether you're lashing back seductively, competitively, or monstrously, and that'll depend which attribute you roll. What are you trying to do back to her?
He's just going to try and just push her back, basically.
Angrily, then? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can you roll strength and blood potency for me?
I can.
While I double check Martina's stat for that.
Ooh. Yeah, 4 successes.
You, as she grabs onto you and leans forward, you feel a softness and an allure to her that you never noticed before, and then you smell the blood, and that's kind of what kickstarts the ignition as you push back with a sudden and incredible force, giving in, and you hear at the back of your head, yes, as Martina falls back and stops in the middle of the room and then looks at you. And there's a feral kind of nature to her eyes. She stoops a little bit and looks at you warily, like a prey animal. Not a prey animal, actually, no. More like a scavenger that's just been scared off from a kill.
Mason just I'm not doing this.
No.
And he starts to pull his shirt back on.
Sooner or later, you're going to want a taste of the tyrant. You can take it right now. Right now. Or you can keep pushing yourself away and tempting yourself. And she's stalking as she does it, swaying her head like a bird of prey. But she leans back. There's actual fear in her eyes, even as she says that.
Why are you doing this? What do you want from me?
If you hate being powerless, I hate being in control. She walks over towards you suddenly, then to your right, onto the sink, and clamps her hands on it and stretches out. And you see the muscles on her back moving underneath that long dead skin. She looks at herself in the mirror. I hate it so much. I hate making decisions. I hate being strong. Life was so much easier when someone else could just row the boat for me and I could just take a minute and relax and watch. But I can't do that anymore because I'm the tyrant, because I'm Martina Trevane. I just wanted to feel the way Sabina felt for just a moment. With anyone. With you. But you can't give that to me because you're too much of a pussy.
Call it being a pussy if you want, but I think it's showing some self-control. I'm not willing to fight with the tyrant at Elysium.
I don't want to fight with you, Mason. I just want you to take something that I took from Sabina. I want you to take it back. She's inside my veins and she's trying so hard just to get out. You can let her out, can't you? Just a little bit. You've got everything you need right there, in between your incisors and your molars. Come on. Haven't you ever wondered what 100 years tastes like? Have you ever tried? Have you ever tasted it? I've had more of it tonight than I was expecting, and my God, compared to her, and she's the best thing I've ever eaten. It's like heaven sliding down your throat. And she's starting to move towards you again.
Mason finishes buttoning up his shirt and takes a step towards Martina.
And as you do, you see in the mirror, you are a lot taller and she's a lot smaller. And she's smiling, warped, and you're smiling too in that mirror. And the friction between the beasts is tangible at the moment. It's quite clear who's panicking at the moment, and it's not you.
Mason gets
Show her, please.
Mason gets face to face with Sabina.
Daring you to do it. Yeah, with
with
Martina.
Martina.
She's begging you to do it, but she doesn't think you will. Prove her wrong. Prove her wrong.
Mason bares his fangs. And he leans in. And then he just whispers into her ear. I guess you're going to have to wait a little longer.
Slaps you in the face. Teeth splinter a little bit, but it's not serious damage for a vampire. You already feel them beginning to pull their way back in. Get the fuck away from me, you weirdo.
I'm the weirdo.
Get the fuck out. Keep your fucking mouth shut. If you're not going to use it right.
As you wish, Counselor. And he'll put his jacket back on as he just kind of scoffs and leaves.
She turns back over to the mirror and looks at herself at that point. Does she just smile at herself? You're not sure, because one Martina turns into a couple hundred as she smashes the mirror with a ball fist.
That's where we end the scene.